found. Create a free pledge manager for your project.
Hello, everybody. How are you doing? I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Hello, folks.
I'm Mike Delisio. Hey there, everyone.
Hey, and this is Crowdsurfing, a weekly show where we talk about Kickstarters that are ending in the next week or 8 days or something like that. And just giving you our thoughts on them. And then it's up to you whether you want to back them or not, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
It's been an interesting time. I think I could say at this point that Kickstarter is, in my opinion, I cannot tell that there's been any change in the world when everything first happened. Kickstarter kind of staggered a little bit, but now there's projects all over the place.
There are.
That's true. And a lot of folks get to continue working on their ideas remotely or, working through technology. So, yeah, it seems like everybody has adjusted for now to the sort of new reality, and they're back making stuff.
Right.
Alrighty, well, here we go. Let's see what's good, what's bad, what's ugly. I have all three for you. It's fantastic.
We'll start with that.
Yes.
Nova Lux. Take charge of a federation of orphaned alien species that have escaped dead star systems in the wake of galactic apocalypse. You can then watch this trailer, which will tell you literally nothing about the game.
No.
It's a cool trailer.
It is.
It's like somebody just figured out some editing software, and they're like,
yes.
Woo, look at what I can do.
Yeah,
and after they're done, they're like, yeah, but what's it about? Oh, yeah. It's rendered already. Forget it.
Sharp transitions, but yeah, I know nothing about the game from that.
Nothing.
Actually, I don't think this Kickstarter page does a good job of that.
No.
It starts off by showing you a bunch of components up here at the top with like free Kickstarter exclusives. Great. But also, what's the game about? Well, there's a giant alien. Great. Here's a bunch of quotes. Great. Here's some more cards. Still haven't shown me how the game works yet. There's stretch goals. Where's the game? Unlock stuff. Where's the... Oh, here it is.
Oh, there it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Correct.
Now,
Actually, the part that made me... The part I thought was the most interesting is you start watching the video, and there's these like weird growing crystals and stuff, and you're like, all right, okay, and that's a solid 15 seconds, and that's to reveal the logo of the company,
correct?
Dragon Egg Games. I'm like, what, do they think they're Universal? Like this is a long intro. Just give me a cool intro to the logo and then get to it. It's your first thing ever.
Now, that being said, I don't think the game is bad, although it really does look like a prototype in the pictures.
It does.
I'm hoping that I don't know. I know that a lot of it is still being worked on and things like that, but I don't really care about a graphic novel. I don't really care about all this stuff. I just want to see a cool game, and if this is what the game looks like, I'm hesitant to play it.
Right. The thing that appeals is that it looks at like it's a small box with a nice player count of 1 to 6. So that's appealing. Small box game that has a wide player count is good. The thing that throws me off is that I absolutely do not like the art and the graphic design. So I'm with you. I hope that it's not final. But I'm also a bit concerned because if I remember right, isn't this something where they're allowing fans to vote on the art? I don't know that that's a good sign. Your art should be pretty
have
much
one director.
Done. Right, exactly right. Now, I hopefully I'm not mistaking this. We look at a lot of projects every week, but I thought that was on this one. If not, I apologize.
I got to say, for a project that's funded $22,003, that is a vast amount of stretch goals and unlocks.
It is.
I mean, I would imagine usually that 22,000 is where the goal was.
Right, especially for a small box game like this.
Yeah.
I know that you want to keep excitement up and everything, but I don't know that I want to get this box, open it, and be like, look at all this Kickstarter extra stuff. Like, I thought it was a small little game here.
Right.
Again, I want to give this the benefit of a doubt.
Sure.
I hope it's good. It's just that it's obviously a first-time Kickstarter.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that's the best way to put it. It looks like a Kickstarter, right? It's got all those trappings of what a Kickstarter looked like, 7 years ago, whatever. Yeah. And I'm with you guys. The look of the game is really pushing me away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Now, on the other hand, Dogs Bond here, which looks like a game I don't know that I would like that much.
Mhm.
But this trailer, really well
Fantastic.
done, shows you
Fantastic.
exactly what the game is like. The guy talks to you while playing a game. It's just very well done. I was very impressed with this trailer. I'm less excited about the game itself. It's great artwork.
Yeah.
I think it's a lovely idea. I think the game is well finalized. I think it's a game that isn't for us. That's
Right.
clear. That's immediately apparent. But I don't really have anything bad to say about this game. I think it's a lovely theme. The artwork is nice. A lot of care went into this. They even show you a little bit of someone illustrating it on software. The trailer I thought was very professional. Fantastic trailer. Personable. Warm, just really, really well done. And so while I don't care for this game myself, I would have no issues pointing someone to it and saying, this looks nice. I think you'll like this, right?
Right.
Yeah, I'm happy with it.
And whoever did the art for this game, company's looking hire them.
Yeah, it's really good.
I really love this art. I like their humans and their animals, especially the animals. The animals, the dogs are fantastic.
Right. I think this game has a potentially really large market because I think the market for this game is less people looking for card games and more people that are interested in this theme because it's going to be a very approachable type of a game, very entry level, a gateway type of a game. And there's a lot of people that love dogs, obviously, and this whole theme of finding the forever family, that's a really cool idea. And so I think it's obviously an idea, a theme we can all get behind. And while we, like you said, may not be interested in the gameplay, I think a lot of people would be.
All righty. Then a big Kickstarter here. Glenmore 2, Highland Games. I have to note that this trailer uses me as I talk about Glenmore 2, amongst many other reviewers, which is something I'm surprised more trailers don't do. Yes. If I had a game that was really big, I think I would play all the very positive quotes about it at the beginning, because that's what they do at movies. Well, 2 thumbs up.
Right.
To be fair, most Kickstarters wouldn't have had that yet, Tom. So this is an expansion.
Sure.
This is
I'm in a weird thing with this because I look at this and I love Glenmore 2. It's one of my favorite games. I think it's fantastic. I also think it's enough.
Yeah.
There's so much in that game. I don't think I've even played. I've opened up and looked at every module. I have not played all those modules. Right. I wasn't sitting around going, man, if there's one thing this game needs, it's more modules. That being said, obviously I'm not in the majority on that. You got to catch them all, baby.
Right. Well, what I think is cool about this is that while I have the base game, I literally just bought it because I knew this was coming out. And the thing that excites me about this specifically is, of course, to be my kind of for my leaning in is a solo variant from David Turczi, but also there's guest designers that are creating these new chronicles. So you've got Johnny Pack, who did Coloma, which I like a lot. He did one of these. Rudiger Dorn, who is a solid designer that did one. So I think that's a neat idea where you're kind of taking some of these guest designers that like the game. Actually, I said David Turczi. It's not David Turczi. It's the Automa Factory that did the solo on this.
Right. That's a human being?
Yeah.
The Automa Factory.
Yeah.
No, it's a group.
Factory.
It's a group of
Automa
designers. Yes.
Name Factory. Automa.
This looks cool. I agree with what you're saying, Tom. It seems like, wow, did we really need more? But I get it. Hey, look, this is making money. Somebody wants it. It might not be me, but somebody wants this.
It's not expensive. It's 35 euros. That's not bad.
I was gonna say. I was actually about to say. I think it's a little expensive for what you get. It's like a few modules. I mean,
yeah, but they add a lot of components.
Yeah, and then the other thing that bothers me is that this box is not small, the original Glenmore, and this will not fit in it, guaranteed.
Are you sure?
Yeah. So that's
then
annoying.
I'm out right there.
I don't think. I mean, you could if you remove components from those boxes that they're meant to be kept in. You might be able to squeeze this in there. But if you want to keep it like with those nice boxes that encapsulate each module. No, that space is taken up. The box is full. So that's kind of where I'm at.
It's doing massively well.
Yeah, no, it's great, and clearly folks want this, and I'm glad it's doing well. Glenmore 2 is, like you said, a fantastic game.
A game that's not doing massively well, a little surprising, I think, is this JINGI 2-player card game, which has some really kind of funky artwork.
It really does.
Well, I mean, the goal was quite, the goal was small. Tom, this is from a really small, this is from one person.
Right.
No, I get that, but these are the kind of games that people kind of go gaga over. This is the kind of game I could see people running for at Essen.
I would call this being gaga. 5,000 when the goal was $900. That's this company's version of gaga, I think. That's okay.
Right.
Sure, and I think it looks pretty neat.
Okay. It looks interesting enough, I suppose, for a 2-player abstract. I think it's this developer designer is doing very much truth in advertising. He's calling himself a board game designer wannabe. He's not presenting himself as an ultra professional. This is one of those passion projects. You can tell he's trying to. This is the only way this game is getting made. Let's be clear.
It was kind of a weird trailer because it starts out almost looking professional, and they're like, da, 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 and then there's like almost a record scratch, and then the guy's like typing, are we on? Oh yeah, hi, I'm my first time designer type thing. It was like almost, it was very dysfunctional trailer.
Well, I also want to say he doesn't speak English very well, and he makes that clear.
He does.
No. I'm not talking about how he spoke. I meant it was as professional, and then it was like a guy sitting in front of a computer with a webcam. It was a very change in pace.
I agree. I agree with that. Yeah, this doesn't look good to me, okay? But again, I agree with Mike. Absolute passion project, clearly. This is one guy.
I would give it a whirl. If nothing else, it's 15 minutes for 2 players, so whatever.
There you go.
The Umbrella Academy game. Now, they mentioned the Netflix TV show, but this is very clearly based on the actual comic, which is very popular. This is a dysfunctional superhero family, and I think it's a cooperative game. Very, very well done trailer. I felt like I had an idea of how the game plays. It looks like a mid-weight light game, and since I know the characters and their powers, I was pretty impressed that the powers of the characters matched mechanisms in the game, I thought, pretty well. This looks good to me. Not great, but looks good.
I was very confused by who this is, like what company is making this. Who's making this? It's the Umbrella Academy.
It's all about time travel. They've already made this in the future.
Okay. No, the company making this is Umbrella Academy game. It's their first created thing. They haven't backed anything. They made, I guess this is the first time that they're going to Kickstarter, and they decided to not have a company.
Did they not say it was Studio somebody or other? Was there not? Or is that the graphic novel company? Because I thought it said Studio and then maybe a number.
Studio 7i or something?
Who made the game itself. I'm looking through. We talked about this when they first announced it.
On the news, yeah.
And I'm trying to... Yeah, Studio 71 Press. They're the people who told me about it.
Mm-hmm.
And about Dark Horse Comics, Studio 71 Games. Okay, so no, the comic is Dark Horse.
Right.
They've worked with other people on games. The Binding of Isaac, they worked with that. Joking Hazard, they helped with, which is that comic strip one.
Right.
So it looks almost like they are a game business for hire. They'll work with different companies to make a board game for them.
Yeah. Sounds maybe like another Prospero Hall type of a situation. Probably a stable of people, and they work with IPs and things like that. Yeah.
Right.
I think the graphic design looks really good. The art's the same from the comics, so you're going to either like it or not.
Yeah, I don't have really much connection with the IP other than I did watch the first few shows of the Netflix series. And I found it enjoyable enough, not compelling enough to keep watching it. But I was pretty impressed with this campaign. which you would expect. I mean, this is a high-profile campaign. I thought the trailer was fantastic. It actually made me think this might be a game I'd be interested in playing. I don't know that I would go out of my way to back it, but I was a little more impressed with it than I expected. The price is pretty reasonable for the standard edition.
Really good. $25 for the game. 200 cards, it's not bad at all.
Yeah. So I don't know. I would play it.
I think if you're a fan, if you're bringing some fandom to the table here, this looks like a slam dunk. But you want to be a fan of this first, and I think a fan of board games second, if that makes sense.
I agree.
I tried watching. I haven't read the comic. It looks cool. I like this artwork. I did try to watch a TV show. I think I saw 2 episodes. Really wasn't into it. But I might like the comic, and this is not really related to the TV show, though obviously it's coming out now because the TV show is popular.
Sure.
They have the same premise, and there's some similarities, but they're very different. I like both of them, but... Okay. Alrighty. The Button Shy Game Haul Bag. This is a very, very specific project. It's a bag for Button Shy games. And in fact, they show you in there you can fit 18 of them. And they make very clear to show you their most popular ones last as they close the bag.
Right.
You're like, by the way, Sporopoulos, Tessie Mussy, boom.
That's it. I do think it's amazing that this is doing this well, I gotta say.
Oh, he has a strong fan base. And
I mean, clearly, it's $20,000 for like a baby bag with a strap.
Right.
It doesn't seem particularly functional. It's for this, pretty much.
Right. Well,
they make no qualms about that. So
this is also not the first time I've seen something like this. Now, the first time I've seen something like this on a Kickstarter project, but the Tiny Epic Games, Gamelin have done the exact same thing. There's a bag that you can put a number of the Tiny Epic games in, a game haul bag, I think they call it. It's obviously a little bit larger than this, but I don't believe that was Kickstarted. I could be wrong. I thought it was just something you could buy off their website.
The quiver, though, that is like a
the quiver is for cards,
These would fit in that. This is interesting. The one thing about this, though, when I looked at this and he put 18 games in there, I thought, wow.
Yeah.
That is like a $300 bag.
Mm-hmm.
That's
when you
true,
look at all those games in one space, suddenly they look more expensive, if that makes sense.
Right.
When it's just one, I'm like, hey, but I can fit it in my pocket. Well, this isn't anything about fitting. This almost goes against the spirit of what these games are. With the exception, you can carry this around and you're like at a game meetup and they're like, no one brought any games. You're like, no, wait, I brought games for everybody.
18 of them. Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. That's an interesting observation. I hadn't thought of that, but you're right. This is kind of against the grain of exactly what Button Shy games are about.
Yeah.
Taking it like, in a pocket or whatever.
Yeah.
So now you're tied to a bag. It has a strap. You got to carry it with you, That's interesting. But still, it's doing well. It seems well constructed. It's well branded.
I wouldn't carry it, though, because I wouldn't carry a purse. And this really looks like a purse.
I guess.
Yeah, that wouldn't bug me, I don't think.
No,
I'm
just saying that I don't like to carry like a small satchel. I like a backpack or I like a big bag. This is like, it feels like it's something I would forget somewhere.
Right. Now, Tom, would you prefer if this was a fanny pack, Button Shy fanny pack? Would that work a little better for you, or?
That's a stretch goal.
I can see it, man. I could totally see it.
I would love that.
All righty, folks. We're going to take a quick break here. We got many more projects to talk about, but we have Mark who's going to jump on board, and we'll be right back.
This week's Spotlight is brought to you by Barred Shark. With a style born of fusion between Roaring Twenties and sophisticated spacefaring technology with an Art Deco and Art Nouveau elements throughout, Antematter is the first and only poker strategy board game. 3 to 6 players enter a loot-rich universe and take command of a unique crew of spacefarers, each vying to plunder, smuggle, gamble, and bluff their way to supremacy. Featuring a blend of Texas Hold'em poker and strategy gaming, Antematter is a true hybrid with something for everyone. Players choose one of 6 crews to command. Each crew has its own deck of crew cards, which can be used in-game to gain advantages on your opponents. Each round of play is divided into loot and poker phases. During the loot phase, players maneuver their 3 ships around the ever-shifting board, collecting salvage and cargo as they go. Once everyone has moved and looted, players have the opportunity to increase their stack of ill-gotten gains in a hand of Texas Hold'em poker. Check out the campaign, which is now live on Kickstarter.
So earlier in our episode, Z talked about some people would back that dogs part game because they kind of believed in the idea of rescuing dogs. To that end, I'm surprised this Kickstarter is not doing better. It's a collaborative game to save the planet called Climate Crisis, and it's an educational, and they put, and fun. I would have said it's a fun,
Educational game.
and educational.
Right.
That's how I would swing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a small little game that looks fine. I'm kind of surprised it's not doing better. I don't like the box. The box. Maybe the
No,
box
I don't
is
love the
thing.
box.
But what's inside looks fine to me. Also, I don't like the name of the company. If you're going to be talking about something serious, calling yourself Nerd Games takes away from that a little bit.
I think the problem here is doing it just for the sake of it to the one with the dogs. It's a tone issue, I think.
Yeah.
That cover, the way they're selling it, Climate Crisis, it seems very serious.
Mm-hmm.
It seems like a wake-up call, a sounding of the trumpet to wake up the troops. And you scroll down a little bit, there's a goofy-looking pig broken in half, a piggy bank says bankrupt, and then some silly guy on a coin. And I'm just not jiving with the look of the game. It's not working for me. Those two things are not the same game.
Right.
Also, the dog game, dogs being adopted and finding a forever home, lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Not a world crisis. It's selling me a world crisis game right now. Wrong crisis. Don't care.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I got other crises to think about right now.
Is it crises or Christ? I don't know how to.
I think he's right.
Pluralize it. It's crisis and crises.
I think it's crises for multiple crises. Yes. Yeah, this is another situation where I don't feel like there's enough information being given about the game on this page. It's very light in information. I was also confused by, wasn't there something at the top basically saying only available today or something along those lines? That always throws me off. Where was it? Keep going.
Oh yeah, it will not be available after the Kickstarter campaign.
Yeah, that doesn't bother. Limited edition, only available today. Well, what does that? Do you just mean, you don't mean literally today, right? You just mean while this Kickstarter campaign is going on? That's confusing. I was literally
minutes. Order now or you'll never get it.
That's what that feels like. Yeah.
It definitely felt like like an infomercial there. Yeah.
Alrighty, then we have what? Dice? Amazing.
Oh, shocking.
I will say the visual effect in this trailer of the sand landing on dice was really soothing to me for some reason. At the same time, saying to own a piece of history is so pretentious.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything is history. Come on now.
Right.
Everything is history.
I love the idea of these dice, but they're a little busy and they're going to be hard to read.
Yeah, they're not very usable, I don't think at all.
Especially
I don't
these.
Like this. Right.
If you're going to put pips make them smaller, that's a horrible idea.
Yeah, no, I am not feeling this at all.
I'm not a fan. I don't like anything about this. I'm sorry.
I don't either. Yeah. Now look, if you want to play D&D at the beach, and look, honestly, who doesn't? Then maybe this is the way to go.
Why?
But,
Why? No.
Mike, I would play
you can do it with
D&D
any
at the
dice.
beach.
But these are historical sandy dice.
All right, here's the good thing though. These aren't expensive dice compared to many other dice.
They don't
There
look
is
it.
that. Let's move off, or Z says something mean.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Ooh, I think it's too late, Tom, but all right.
Dungeons and Lasers 2nd Edition. Now, when I saw this, I was extremely impressed. It looks fun. The idea of how these snap together looks cool. Yeah. I thought this is something I could use for games like Descent. I love that terrain that I bought before from Dwarven Forge, but here the walls don't get in the way like they do at Dwarven Forge. These snap in. So I actually went to back it, and then I did not because it's from Arkan Studios. Now, if you're not remembering Arkan Studios, they're the folks who made Wolfenstein a board game, which it hasn't come out yet, I don't think. But they also made Reload, which was the game that was a complete copy of Rum and Bones.
Right.
And it was Load. Sorry, it was Load. I'm sorry, not Reload. Load. And they have a lot of negativity on them online, so it looks like they've switched to Terrain. Well, except for this Wolfenstein game. That being said, it obviously hasn't stopped people from backing this project.
No. I want to say that
most people don't know that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you know? I want to say that we actually covered the Wolfenstein game on the show, and I believe you brought up the issue with Arkan Studios. So that look, this is going to be a perfectly run campaign, and everyone's going to get everything on time. And that may very well be the case, but you have to understand that if you've got negativity that is following you around, you have to deal with it.
Right. Yeah. It'd be silly to know that and ignore it entirely.
Right. Yeah. Right.
They're showing the plastic there that's durable, but they're only bending it a little. So I'm curious.
Where's the truck running over?
That's right.
That's what I want.
That's right. If it doesn't have a semi running over it, then it's not durable.
I'm very curious I would like to see this stuff in person. It looks really good.
It does.
But it's also not in person, and I'm worried that if I got this, it would look like those plastic walls I buy in those kits that I bought at a model store, and I open it up and I'm like, oh, this looks good only if a professional painter comes through.
Sure. Torture chambers, that's a good look though.
The torture chamber?
Sure. I don't know. I just thought that was funny. I don't know how it's different than any other room.
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
No, Tom, no.
I didn't back it, but I almost did.
Oh.
All right, moving on. The Megan board game table. Now, just as a aside here, folks, our show, we have a relationship with Rath Scours. So keep that in mind when this is not Rath Scours. This is Geek and Son. So take what we say with a grain of salt. This looks like a good table.
Sure.
The only thing I had against this was when they were showing everything, I thought, cool, but nothing new that I haven't seen before.
The cat holder you've seen before?
Oh, well, no.
That's an accessory right there.
Yeah, where's that cat holder? I looked for it, and I'm like, oh, there we go.
Mike, do you want a cat holder?
No, because the last thing I want to do is encourage the cats that I already have jumping all over the table whenever I try to set up a game to get more up close and personal with my components. Because let me tell you, no cat sits like that.
Right. The cat's like, this is where I sit. Thank you. Right. Are you here to play the game? That cat's the dungeon master of that table there.
Right. They should call it the world's first cat pouncing platform, because that's what's going to happen. Yeah. That cat is ready to launch.
I will say, I think these guys know how to make a good table, okay?
They do,
undoubtedly. They've got the... But you're right that they are showing a lot of their features they've had before.
Right.
Many of them good features, you know, like having the seam between the leaves that create kind of like a watertight seam. There's a little rubberized stopper in between them, basically, okay? To prevent spills making all the way through. Cool. The one thing I did see that I haven't seen before, it might have been around already, and I haven't seen before, is they had one piece that you'd latch onto that aluminum railing that you could then take off, and it was kind of reversible. You could take it off and flip it end over end, and it had another latch on there, and so you could have one flat surface that you'd latch on, or take it off, flip it, latch it on that way. Now the flat surface is below with, holes and places to put stuff. I thought that was cool. It's a neat design. That's the only thing I saw that was different,
Okay. Well, either way, it looks neat and it looks well made.
Yeah.
All right. Last week we talked about Endangered. This week we're talking about Endangered Orphans, House of Rath. Now, I almost skipped over this one looking at the artwork. I didn't realize this was made by the same people who made Who Goes There, because that game looks incredible. The artwork for this one, less so.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's off-putting. That was the first thing that came to mind. I was like, whoa, this doesn't look appealing at all. I get the impression that this has kind of a built-in fan base already because it's doing quite well.
Well, it's a sequel to their first game, I think.
Right. That's what I get, but I guess that must have done well because obviously, this Coindle is that it right there? Condyle Cove.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hadn't played that, so I don't really know much about that.
I felt the same way when I first saw it. I was like, "Oh, here we go. This looks terrible." I watched the video though. The gameplay doesn't look bad. Like, it looks kind of interesting. The gameplay looks pretty interesting. I don't like the logo. Yeah, it's very the aesthetic they're going for. I also find a bit off-putting. It's all congruent. I appreciate that.
Sure.
It's not captivating. I don't think I'd like this played on a table in front of me. The gameplay sounds pretty interesting.
All right.
Okay. Cool.
Z's pick of the week.
Maybe.
The Squire.
What else am I going to go with those dice?
Companion. This is what I learned from looking at this dice holder. That you can't put enough dice in. Just keep adding walls.
Sure.
He didn't go as far as he could have. I would have gone up 6 feet to show what this could do. Like, you can look. I'm pouring dice in. This is a passion project. This one is like another one that, like, this looks like Kickstarter, but it has a lot of things in, as in it's rounded for no reason. That's a waste of space. It is. It has these magnets in. That's cool, but why?
Right.
Like, I don't necessarily want to keep all this stuff in that box. Once I have that box isn't that convenient. It doesn't fit in my pocket.
Nope.
I could throw it in my bag, but what's the point of this other than to look cool?
That's it. What do you mean? Dude, have you looked at the way you dress? Why do you do it, Tom? Tell us why you do it.
I do because it makes me happy. Well, it used to.
Cool. Because you look cool.
I don't think that was ever.
I backed it. I'm going to get several of them, and I'm going to make a little stack. Boop, 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 boop. I'm not. I'm kidding. I'm pass. Hard pass.
I did learn about a new tree, though. I'd never heard of the Opepi tree before. Have you heard of the Opepi?
No, that's any tree.
I do
that's
know
any tree where you catch someone cutting it down, especially your neighbor Pepe, and you're like, "Oh, Pepe, don't do that."
I like Purple Heart. I actually have some purple. I have a dice tower made of Purple Heart wood.
Yeah,
I just think that's neat. I think it's neat that there's woods out there that are just these colors naturally.
Right.
Dude, that's a real thing. Purple Heart wood.
It really is.
All right, cool.
Alrighty, folks, we're gonna take a quick break here, hear about some more Kickstarters, and then we'll be back with the last third.
Pepe.
Hey folks, welcome back to the Dice Tower Preview Recap. I'm Mark, and today we're going to be heading into the darkest jungle, trying to find a temple and gather crystals to see who can withstand the test and become the next chieftain. Also, we are all about world domination, supervillains and henchmen trying to bring about the end of the world and rule it, basically. Think Dr. Evil. All right, let's jump in and take a closer look. And first up, let's take a look at Tomorrow Dies Today. In Tomorrow Dies Today, you take on the role of General Goodman, a supervillain, or one of his top 9 henchmen. Take over various areas of criminal enterprise, gather resources, recruit faceless henchmen, and discover doomsday missions to enact your plan of global domination. 3 different asymmetrical game modes allow you to pick whether you and your friends will play a 100% cooperative game known as Syndicate, or sharpen your backstabbing daggers and play the cutthroat version of the game. Or play Mayhem, allowing up to 3 teams in a free-for-all, winner-takes-all. And how those teams are formed are totally up to you. In all cases, you'll have to plot out 3 moves in advance, building squads to complete missions, gather resources, and harvest spoils in the most efficient way possible. All with an end goal of completing the Doomsday Plan and/or achieving the most victory points. Oh, not victory points, but villain prestige points. The game focuses on strategy and negotiation. There are no dice, and the mechanics reduce random chance to reward you for relying on your wit instead of luck. Now, what's interesting about this one is not only are you like supervillains, General Goodman trying to run the henchmen to go out and do his evil bidding to destroy the world basically and bring about his plans, but you as the henchman, if you're playing that role, is really interesting as well, because you're also using faceless henchmen to do your bidding. You know, you might be selfishly doing your bidding, or you might betray the organization. Lots of interesting back and forth in this one, and the theme, oh, it really shines through in this game. It really brings you into that, it feels like espionage, it feels like a spy thriller even. So if you like that kind of feel of a game, and the fact that there's so many different game modes in this, you even have a solo play and so forth. So this is definitely one to keep a closer eye on. It's definitely a heavier game, and if you like that type, the theme really shines through. And then we have Shards of the Jaguar. The founder and first leader of your tribe was a mighty warrior. He was very powerful. The reason he was so powerful was his ability to change his shape and take the form of a jaguar. As a jaguar, he was an unstoppable force and defended your tribe successfully for many, many years. But on an unfortunate day, a mysterious enemy attacked and cursed him. And as a result, the jaguar was defeated and broken into crystal shards. You and your fellow young tribe members have to go to the sacred temple where the jaguar's remaining shards are still to be found, and take part in an initiation ceremony. Your goal is to acquire the jaguar's best skills by collecting its shards, making rituals with them, and incorporating the jaguar's hunting instincts by setting traps against the others. If you are successful in your journey, you will come back as a powerful hunter, and the best of you will be the next chief of the tribe. So you're in the darkest jungle, trying to make it through this temple, performing rituals, looking for crystals, setting off traps, yes, traps, trying to slow down your opponents. There's things like earthquakes you can do. There's poisonous gas and guardians. All kinds of things can affect the areas of the different areas of the map, and just calculating where your opponents might be is an interesting challenge. Now, it's really about getting points and getting through the maze of this particular temple and getting out, having the most points to be the ultimate chieftain. All right, so my pick of the week. So both these games have so many unique things going on for them. And it was actually really hard this week for me to choose one. So it's interesting because the theme just works so well for Tomorrow Dies Today. They did such a good job sucking you into that theme and having you work as a henchman or as Goodman and just trying to solve or destroy the world, I should say. And it really at times feel like you're sucked into a movie. Really well done. Now, the thing with Shards of the Jaguar though, and the reason I'm picking it is because of the visual presentation. Oh my gosh, they put so much into that. The modular board, the crystals, the traps, which are super unique, and how you utilize them. Really well done. And you definitely have a lot of puzzles to solve as you even use some of those traps to move through walls and things. So depending on how you time things out, it really can change up how you play that game. But that can be said for both of these games. They both have a lot of unique features to them, but giving it up for Shards of the Jaguar. All right, folks, if you want any more information about any of the games that I mentioned here, please go check out our full previews. And if you want your game featured as a Dice Tower preview, please shoot me an email. Now, there's also a preview coming that's from a published game called Whistle Mountain. You got to check this one out. Love this game so much. All right, folks, until next time, we'll see you at the table.
All righty, the Oscar Award nominated movie Dining with Dracula.
Welcome.
Hello.
It's so funny because this is one of those times where I think the trailer doesn't do the game justice. I started watching the trailer like, what is this hideous 3D guy talking about?
Terrifying nightmare juice.
I loved that trailer. I absolutely loved it. I think that's great. It reminds me of old school like the claymation type of thing. I know it's computer rendered.
Okay, well, whatever.
That's great.
It reminds me of being a little Cuban boy watching Russian cartoons.
Yes.
Okay. So forgetting the trailer, I then slid down to look at the game, and it looks pretty solid. It's a worker placement game. Mm-hmm. I love the theme. It's like a Dracula amusement park.
Yep.
With the donut shop and tourists coming in that you can hypnotize to help work for you.
Yes.
I'll tell you what, man. This game, the more that trailer's creepy. Mm-hmm. The more I saw of it, the more into it I was. And I'll tell you right now, this would be, no question, my pick of the week if I had not clicked on the company and realized that they also did Moonshiners of the Apocalypse.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, man.
I remember that.
Moonshiners of the Apocalypse was riddled with mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, just covered in mistakes, color matching, things being called one thing on the rule book, but other things on the board. It was a very mishandled Kickstarter to the point that I attempted to try it and play it and it was not well done, okay?
The thing was, I remember when Z got that one, we looked at it, we laughed at all the characters in it. Right. We were laughing about it, and I said that this looks interesting. And then Z said, I don't know. We went through the rule book, and it never got reviewed because there was that many problems.
It was very problematic. So right there, I was very disappointed, to be honest, when I found out that it's the same people. Because it looks great. It sounds interesting.
It really does. I love the theme. I love the idea
Maybe they learned their lesson.
Yeah, I don't know. I hope so.
But I'll let somebody else figure it out, if they did.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, it's too bad because I was really into that. Okay.
All right. Cafe Chaos, the odd ones out. Here's what I've learned. If you have an extremely popular YouTube channel or webcomic,
make a game.
You are leaving money on the table if you don't make a board game.
Correct.
Make one. Because you will literally get between $500,000 to $2 million.
Yes. Absolutely.
So basically what you're saying is what we need to do, Tom, is first get a little comic going. Get a little fan base going.
Let's do the comic strip first. Then we'll do this, and then we got enough money to last a couple years. Then we got to go. We'll make a sequel.
Then we review our own game extremely positively. Feedback loop, baby.
Yeah, I tell you, it's an ecosystem.
Yeah, this looks horrible, but at the same time, I get why it is, because if you like this, and I know I haven't seen much of this, but I know this is like in pop culture all over the place.
Yes, it is.
It's everywhere, and people who like this, I mean, look at these bundles.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's one of those things I know zero about it, but yet I've heard of it. So I think it really has invaded regular culture, pop culture.
Yeah, the game doesn't look very good, but the art's good, the production looks good, and people are going to buy it. Do you want a gold-plated weighted turn marker for $99?
Absolutely.
No.
But you can get a hand-painted one for free.
Yes.
Hand-painted's for losers.
That's right.
Winners get gold-plated. From now on, we're not painting any stuff in a dice tower. We're getting it gold-plated.
This is how they make things seem like a good deal, which is a great psychological trick.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
You offer an edition for like $1,000, and then this other good-looking one also is only $100, and you goes, ooh, only $100 for that one? Buy. You know what I mean?
Right. You can get backpacks. They've got all kinds of stuff you can get here.
This is like going to a nerd store in a sense.
Right.
There's so much to get here.
Mm-hmm.
All righty. Uprising, Curse of the Last Emperor. This one here is a 4X fantasy board game for 1 to 4 players that's also cooperative.
Right.
I don't know if there is a cooperative. It's also grimdark.
Yeah.
It's this company's first game. The thing that I find most fascinating about this is I love these standees.
It's funny. I like them too. I like them a lot.
This is how you make a standee because, first of all, they have that color, so I know it's mine.
Yep.
They look like they're plastic. They're not going to fall over very easily.
Right.
It's a much cheaper alternative to miniatures.
Sure.
And as the trailer and everything else here let me know, you're getting everything. There's so much stuff here.
There is.
I don't know if I'm going to play a 1 to 4 a 4X cooperative game, though. That's where I'm not sure on.
I just don't know how it works. I don't know how it works. Yeah, and but it is interesting because they mix in some little minis with these standees. I don't know. This one seems all over the place to me.
A lot of stuff.
It is, but is that good? You know, is it too much stuff? Is it cohesive? Is it going to be an elegant rule set? Is it going to be something that you open it up and you look at the rule book or rule books and you just feel overwhelmed? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Z, you said this one was for you? Grimdark.
So not for me. No, this is not for me.
Co-op. You like co-op?
There was nothing in this that the 120 plus part is especially like it's 2 hours or more. That's like when a store says everything in the store for $14.99 and up, and you know they're selling you gum for $14.99, and they have one pack, and the rest is all thousands of dollars. That's how this feels to me. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I don't think so. Okay. No. And this is.
Well, this guy says he thinks it could be a huge hit for just about everyone. That is a bad quote because there's very, very few games that are that way. Yeah. No way.
This isn't Ticket to Ride. No, this is very specifically possibly a hit for very few people.
However, at the same time, it is getting very positive feedback. I mean, so I am interested in it despite Z's negativity.
I don't think I'm being particularly negative. It looks a little generic. You know what I mean?
If you can stretch the truth about me, I can stretch it about you.
I'll tell you what. I want to buy those walls and leave them around the floor. Did you see the walls?
No.
There's walls. If you go...
you're talking about the caltrops here.
Got
those. I want to buy just that. Where are they?
These.
There they are.
Yeah.
I want to buy just those and leave them on the floor around the office, guys.
Oof.
Or maybe sneak them into Tom's bedroom or something. And you step on one of those, you're taking a week off. You know what I mean?
That's right. It's going to be an uprising, all right.
All right. Let's move on. Playmats and bags for board games. This is from BoardGameTables.com. Mm-hmm. This is another thing that if someone makes something for games, I feel like we're starting to reach the limit of creativity here. Yeah. Because I looked at all this and I thought, this is cool, and I like Board Game Tables. They make great games and everything. Sure. But I've seen other companies make all this same stuff.
Sure.
Oh, they've made this stuff. I mean, these aren't the first bags that they've made. I mean, they've been making, I remember for the last couple of Gen Cons, they've been selling them at their booths and at PAX and other conventions. I mean, most of their booth are their tables and their bags, and now they've started to do the game. So I am kind of wondering if Kickstarter is just maybe a way that they think is best for their distribution model, because I don't necessarily get the impression they need Kickstarter to you know what I mean? They have a pretty big...
but there's no cons, Mike.
Yeah, that's true.
Right. That's exactly it. I think these guys just need to sell some bags. Hey, I got no problem with that. This company is... The funny thing is that the least that I actually know about the company is how good their tables are. I have no idea how good their tables are.
Right.
But they make good bags, and they make good board games.
Correct.
But they are called BoardGameTables.com. I'm assuming their tables are fine as well. But
I still don't like the idea that this particular bag is worn as a backpack. I like backpacks. But this turns you into basically a dump truck, a human dump truck, and you have to watch how you go through doors. You can't turn or kill people. You get on the bus and everyone sighs at the same time. Mm-hmm. I don't know. The bag.
If everybody sighs at the same time, get off the bus. You're gonna get that Rona.
Right. When I walk with that as a backpack, I walk everywhere backwards. I want that to be the thing that people see first.
Rear view mirrors. You put a couple of rear view mirrors up.
That's right. And I have the little beep sound that the trucks have. Beep, beep.
Oh, they have this. I have one of these somewhere. Their week by week calendar. I tend to like these because it's a nice thing that you can put on your desk and you can change the picture every week rather than once per month. And that's kind of cool. The only problem is a week calendar, unless you're using it every week, like flipping through it, it's just not as handy.
Yeah.
Because many times I want to know what's going on next week, so I'd be constantly flipping back and forth.
That wouldn't work well for me because I believe my calendar on my desk is currently set to May. So I don't do well with.
All right.
I like weekly calendars. My favorite view on an app for a calendar is actually weekly. But if I'm going to have one on my desk, it'll be a monthly one.
Yeah.
All right. Beets, bombs, and bluffs.
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 That's an umlaut, sir.
This is an example. If you don't have a popular webcomic, but you make pretty much the exact same game.
Correct.
You will not make $500,000. You will make $6,000.
Correct. But they funded on day one, Tom. Day one.
This was 30. I went down quite the rabbit hole with this, I'll tell you that. Because I checked out the whole thing. Like, I watched the video. Okay, it's basically Skull and Roses, which is Skull.
Right.
With a different theme. That's the game it is, right? And then they added action cards and silly, take that stuff. It's like, all right, what else has this company done? Well, they haven't done any games. He's done two things. The first one, Nerd Wax, which is wax for your glasses so they don't slide down your nose.
Oh, that's amazing.
Apparently that did well enough that the dude was on Shark Tank.
Oh.
And he came back with a second project, you'd think related to the first, not really, tangentially. He made microfiber cloth to clean glasses that looks like pizza.
The taco stretch goal.
Amazing.
Wow.
Why are we looking at the game? Wait. So is this one of those ones where, like, which one's the real piece of pizza?
Right. Which one is the pizza? Which one is the microfiber?
I gotta be honest. I really want this pizza thing.
Why? No. Don't encourage this kind of behavior.
That's correct.
No. And then he's like, you know what? Next, I'm gonna take a one-line joke from The Office and turn it into a board game.
Yeah.
I like this dude's entrepreneurial spirit, I gotta say. I like it.
All right. I really do want that pizza cloth. I'm gonna see if
I know what I'm for your birthday then.
That's right, yay.
It's not too far off.
That's right.
All righty. Izayoi, board game made in Japan. This is another small, quirky-looking board game that looks really, I don't know, I think it looks very unique and interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It almost, I'm a big fan of silhouette artwork.
Yeah.
Although, I don't know why they have this background, which looks like it's an animated JPEG.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah.
Before you put it on the screen.
Right. Yeah, I don't know exactly what to make of this one. I mean, it has obviously a very clean aesthetic. They're clearly going for that, but I was a little bit confused as to what type of game it is, who they're really marketing it towards. Are they going for people that want kind of the boutique, the games that have been coming out of Asia recently? Maybe those have been quite popular, but smaller market. I'm not sure. I'm not really sure what to make of this campaign.
I find this one more interesting than the other little game we saw earlier from the one creator. Than what is JINGI? I like this better. This looks better to me.
I like the concept here where you have a master and you want to be polite and you don't want to have a score as high as your master's because otherwise you're insolent and you're out.
Right.
Cool idea.
Yeah, that is clever. Yeah. That is clever, yeah.
Yeah, this looks interesting. I hope it's good.
Yeah, yeah.
And the last one for today, New Osaka Battle to Rebuild Prosperity. Now, this one is this company's third project, so I looked it up, and it's actually their first two projects failed. The second one was this one again. And I looked through this. It looks pretty neat, and I can't figure out why it's not funny better. The components look good. The game looks decent. The art, I think, is fine. It has miniatures. So what am I missing?
Call All I can tell you is
know.
that the only thing that made me excited when I flipped through this was the dual layer player boards, because I love that. But
There's something wrong with you with dual layer player board.
I'm a sucker for them, but not enough.
He's with dual layer player boards like you are, Tom, with pizza themed microfiber.
That's right.
He loves it. He loves it. He's a fan.
This is my version of pizza microfiber. It just doesn't grab me. I mean, I don't know how else to put it other than nothing about it is terribly appealing. It doesn't really have anything that stands out to me. I mean, it looks a bit generic in my mind. I don't know. It might be fine. I hope it's good, but it doesn't really jump out at me at all.
I agree. I wasn't feeling the artwork. I don't like the artwork at all, actually. If you scroll down, those divider images with the little monsters are like sort of splitting stretch goals. That's really bad artwork, I think. You see what I'm saying?
I get that. I like the buildings, though. The buildings look great.
The buildings look cool. Yeah,
they look like
the renderings. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it's not captivating people when other things seem to do it. That I can't answer, And if I could, I'd write a book about how to captivate your audience.
Right.
With
I couldn't.
Kaiju.
I apologize. I was going to have a non-board game project, and I couldn't find one, and I refused to put the portable toilet one on here. I know that's what Mike wanted.
Oh, you made the right call, Tom. I'm not proud of myself.
Okay. So, folks, if you want to see
now I need to look something up.
Well, we'll tell you after we're done, Z.
Mike, so, folks, if you could next week, tom@dicehour.com, if you find a funky off-board game project you want me to show at the end there, send it to me. But it's got to be one that's active during our next show next Wednesday. All right, I'm going to start this week with my pick of the week, even though Z ruined it for me, but I'm going to stick with it. And that's Dining with Dracula.
Yeah, that would have been mine too, man. I'm telling you.
I'm just going to hope. And you know what? When you said that, I don't know. I went to back this and pulled out of it because I sold that game. But I will give a second chance. Yeah, I'm not a one-strike, you're out kind of guy. Well, normally.
2 strikes, you're out.
That's the sport we play. But this... I really like the theme. I really hope it's good. So this is my pick of the week, Dining with Dracula.
Sounds good. I'm going to go with one that is not necessarily for me again, but it gives me hope. And I think it's well made. It looks like something that keeps the red flags to a minimum, I'll say. And that is Dog's Bond. That's my pick of the week. I think it's a lovely looking project. It seems... like a lot of care and love went into it, and I can get behind that. So,
this was on my short list for very much the same reasons.
Yeah. It's a great theme.
Better than Cat's Bond.
Definitely not.
Nobody needs that.
My pick of the week. Look, Tom. I'm piggybacking. I hope springs eternal, because I'm not going to say this was a light week, but this was a light week for me. I had a hard time, but Dining with Dracula it charmed me. Honestly, it really did. It has exactly the right tone. This could have been so easily off on tone, but this one I feel like just hits that right feel of just reading about it, just hearing the mechanics make me want to play the game, and that's hard to do. I love the idea of, at the end of the day, you're going to have dinner with him and you're trying to maybe bring him something to charm him so that he can give you some points. It's a really clever idea. Z, I think it's really important and good that you brought up that issue, because, again, we already mentioned that you have track records you have to live up to, but I'm going to hope that they just had a little slip up before and that they're going to learn.
I'm hoping that too, because I tell you, this could have easily been a 3-way pick.
Now, you don't get to play this when it comes in. If a game is not your pick of the week, can't touch it.
That's it. You're out.
I tell you, I mean, the idea of hypnotizing a tourist to take an action somewhere else.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant idea. So yeah, I'm with you guys. I hope it's good, but I'm too worried, to pick.
Yeah, I got you.
Alrighty, folks. Well, that is another episode of Crowdsurfing. We'll be doing this again next Wednesday at 2:00. Our next live thing will be, we may have some live stuff tonight. I don't remember. But tomorrow I'll be taking a look at the top 10 list that was done last week. I haven't watched it yet. I'm going to watch it live and react.
Yeah.
I'm sure it'll be very positive when it's done. There'll be a group. I was about to say group hug. There will be a group social distance.
High five.
High five.
Right.
Virtual. So, anyhow, we have lots of other reviews that just were released and more coming out tomorrow, including a group review of Title Blades coming out. So keep an eye out for all that stuff. Thanks for watching. Check out these Kickstarters. Until next time, I'm Tom Vassell.
I'm Z Garcia. Thank you.
I'm Mike Delisio. Take care, everybody.
Have fun gaming.